All right, kids, lesson 97, 7th grade math. Today, we are talking about similar triangles and indirect measuring. Now, a couple weeks ago, I discussed with some of you in regards to triangles. There's a couple things to look at here. Let's label this one A, B, C, and let's go X, Y, Z. Now, in similar triangles, we can say that side A corresponds to side X, and side B corresponds, I'm just using arrows to show you, corresponds to side Y. And side C corresponds to Z. What this means, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, is we can set these up and solve these in regards to ratios, in regards to proportions. So when we're talking about similar triangles. Now the other thing that I talked with you about is these angles. And stating that if you see tick marks between two triangles, it means that these angles have the same measure. So we could also say that angle, we would call that, so let's put the angle along with this. We can say that angle A is equal to angle X. Angle B is equal to angle Y, and angle C is equal to angle Z. Okay? So when you see these tick marks, it means that they are the same measurement. Now that can also be true in regards to the sides. Obviously these are not the same lengths, but if you have two triangles that are exactly the same, you will also see tick marks on the sides showing you that they're the same. So we can use this to solve triangle lengths. So let's look at example 1, page 666. Estimate the length of A, then use a proportion to find A. So it has two triangles just like this, or similar to this. I will draw them out for you, like that. We have this that says this side is 3, 5, and 6, and then we have A and 10. So it says estimate the length of A. So if we're looking at this, we may say, well, A looks like it's about 7. They don't have an actual measurement, so 7 is okay. So that's our estimate. Our actual, we set up proportions. We say 3 is to A, so I'm comparing them, as 6 is to 10. So we have to pick two sides that we do know. We do know that this is 6 and this is 10. And we're going to compare 3 to A. Now, it is going back to simple cross multiply and divide. 3 times 10 gives me 30, divided by 6 gives me 5. So my actual is 5. So you're going to give me an estimate, then you're going to set it up as ratios or proportions, and then solve, cross multiply and divide. Okay? So that is how we are finding the lengths of those. Let's look at example 2. Example 2 is talking about indirect measure, but it's exactly just like what we did with example 1. Example 2 says we're measuring the height of a light pole on the playground. A class of students measured the length of the shadow cast by the pole and the length of the shadow cast by a vertical meter stick of 40 centimeters. About how tall was the light pole? So we have a light pole. And they're trying to find out how tall it is. That's what they're trying to find out. So what they do is they measure the length of its shadow. And then they take a meter stick, which is 100 centimeters. They measure its shadow at 40 centimeters. So we know what we're trying. So we just need to set the proportion to solve. So we could say this is x, because we don't know that. So we have x is to 100 as 24 is to 40. And again, to solve, cross multiply, divide. 24 times 100, 2400. 2400 divided by 40. 40 into 240 goes 6. There's 0 left over. So the approximate height of the pole, 60. Don't forget to label feet. So set up a proportion and then simply solve. Okay? Example 3. Brad saw that his shadow was the length of about 1 big step, or 3 feet. He then walked along the shadow of a nearby flagpole and found that it was 8 big steps long. Brad is about 5 feet tall. What is the best choice for the height of the pole? This was example 2. So example 3, it says Brad is approximately 5 feet tall, and his shadow was 1 step, which is about 3 feet. And then talks about the flagpole, said that it was 5 big steps, or 8 big steps. So 8 steps at 3 feet would be 24 feet. And the question asked, what is the best choice for the height of the flagpole? So we're looking for this. So 5 is to x, as 3 is to 24. Cross multiply, divide. 24 times 3. 3 times 4 gives us 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 gives us 7. So I have 72. I did that wrong. I knew something looked weird. How about 24 times 5? That's better. 5 times 4, 20. 5 times 2, 10 plus 2, 120. 120 divided by 3. 3 goes into 12, 4. 40, so the approximate height of the flagpole is 40 feet, which if you're looking at your example, that would be C. C. So, lesson 97. Set up proportions of similar triangles, cross, multiply, and divide. Okay? So on lesson 97, the ones that we do not do are number 6 and 30. 6 and 30. On 22, look at 22. It says draw a diagram. Do not draw. Okay? You don't need to draw a diagram, but you do need to solve that. So just don't draw a diagram on number 22. So, lesson 97. Do not do number 6 and number 30. And that is lesson 97. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and we will see you next time. Thanks.